it's so nice watching older movies like this where the credits are so just like you get them done with, then you're out
Yep.
into the movie.
Oh yeah, making out. Oh.
Here comes the little lobster moment.
Oh yeah.
They're smoking the grass.
Yep. There's lobster.
Yeah, like they're trying to put its arm back on it or feed it its own arm or something. Oh, what is this dude's name? Oh my gosh.
There's Chrissy.
Yeah, Chris. I'm just like
Oh, he's just eating his ash. Did he ash in there and just start drinking it?
that would be hilarious. I mean, think about it. You've got like it's the 70s. You've got a plastic or like a styrofoam cup on the beach. You're drinking beer out of a keg. At some point, you're going to be getting beer, like sand in your beer and stuff, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
With everybody smoking reefer and playing guitar. And...
Chrissy.
Swimming.
Oh god. Slow up. Slow down.
Yeah, he's like, make up your mind, bitch. Why am I blanking on this dude's name? Like, I'm genuinely questioning whether we get his name in this movie. I'd have to reference the book.
Don't they mention at some point like who found it? Who found the body?
Yeah, yeah. I think that he must be name dropped or like he is referenced somehow. Like, oh, this the friend of blah or a
Mm-hmm.
tenant. He's given a designation as far as his relation to the characters in this story, but I just am blanking on his name.
Mm-hmm.
No, so I can't tell if some of this is actual, like true day for night, or if it's just um, that's how the lighting is. Because I've seen like I've gone to the Sanford's Lake, and there's been some nights where I look out on the water. I'm like, oh my god, this looks exactly like the opening of Jaws, where it's not like this right here.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Where the moon
I
is
don't,
kind
I
of
don't think that.
sparkling.
Yeah, I don't think that's day for night. I think that's actual night moonlight. That's great. You basically have to have like no clouds, I guess.
Right. Blip. Poor Chrissy.
Yeah, yeah. And you've got however many people, let's say like between 15 and 20 people on the beach with a bunch of ropes, just like "Yay!" pulling her around.
Yeah.
God. Ugh.
Ew.
My body just has like such a visceral reaction to this movie.
I know. Like, I. That's one thing. Like, I do love swimming in lakes because I know that's safe enough from saltwater, big fish, and things like that, predators. But then, like, night swimming at a lake, I'm still.
Oh,
That's kind of another thing.
night swim, like genuinely all of my life, ever since I've seen this movie, there's like just that moment in your mind where it's irrational fear, but it's you can still feel it like kicking into your body, where it puts you on that adrenaline edge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's just that trigger has formed in my mind that if I think about big fake sharks or this movie or certain things in a certain way, my body will go into that fight or flight mode. So I've had to like specifically be careful when I've gone swimming in the past. Be like, all right, just shake it off. Don't think about it. And then it does cross my mind, and I like have to panic swim back to the boat and like calm myself down. Even if it's in the middle of a lake, I know that I'm completely safe. It's the irrational fear center of my brain. It just got somehow like burned in at such a young age, specifically to this movie. And that shot where it's the guy and he gets his boat tipped over in the pond and he's trying to help Michael and all that.
Well, he's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" He like swims up to him, or like he has
Yeah.
a tiny little rowboat. Yeah.
And it's the shot of him trying to grab onto the boat while you see the shark like going for his legs in the water.
Mm.
I can't like look at that without physically having to like pull my legs up and not have them like leap like
Yep.
down at all free. I gotta like recoil. It's ugh.
Just in case those carpet sharks come and get you.
Yeah, I know that I'm perfectly safe. I know that in my bedroom it's not gonna happen. But oh, something happens to me.
I'm more worried about this getting hit by a vampire. What's this
Ah,
nonsense?
hit by a vampire. Well,
That's
she's
another story.
admonishing.
That's a different story. It's like, wait. We'll solve this vampire thing after this Jaws thing.
No. Hold on. Put the shark thing on back burner, Mayor. We got vampires.
We got vampires here on the 4th of July.
Yeah, Larry. August. For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July. Garlic laden hot dogs everywhere. Don't you mind yourself now, Chief.
And then instead of Quint shows up as like Van Helsing. He's like, "Hey, I see you got a vampire on your hands, TV."
Draws a little like Christopher Lee Widow's Peak cartoon Dracula on the board.
It's got like
a wooden stake across the chalkboard.
snaggletooth vampire's fangs, and just like, look at that. That's my shark.
I'll catch this child in the night for you, TV.
And
It's
instead
not
of
gonna be pretty.
the USS Indianapolis, he's talking just about like Vlad the Impaler killing a bunch of people. He's like, "Yeah, back in the old 200 AD."
Yeah, he's like his boat's name like the Renfield or something like that. Or the like what was it? Harkin?
Yeah, it would just be like the
whatever.
Alucard or something.
Or maybe like Mia. Well, I forget Mia's last name. It would be some sort of like reference like that. He'd be talking about like, I writing in my journals back to home.
And by the end of the movie, his son turns into a vampire because he got hit by one. You know.
Mayor, yeah. Mayor Vaughn is less trying to dissuade him from closing the beaches due to like tourism money, and he's like, no, Chief, vampires aren't real. Those are just stories, made up fairy tales.
And they find like somebody that they thought was a vampire, and they cut it open. And they drain its body, and they're like, "Did you find the boy?" No, just a guy's body.
Brody has to go out on the beach at like night because he gets reports of a vampire,
Yeah.
and it's just kids with fake teeth and like ketchup on their neck and stuff. It's like, don't shoot! He's strapped with bandoliers of wooden stakes and garlic and stuff.
Yeah, with crucifixes and stuff. Holy water.
It gives a whole new meaning to smile, you son of a bitch.
Oh, that's true. Well, instead of Jaws, it's called just Fangs.
Ooh, I like that.
We're getting there.
A shitty Jaws spoof.
But it's still in the water, like on Amity Island, because that kind of makes sense. You know,
Vampire swimming. He's got like just red little swim trunks.
he's got like the one piece, like the tank top, like jumper swim trunks, like the old timey swim trunks.
It's like red and white striped.
Yeah.
He's got like the curly mustache and the hair part down the middle and like slicked down.
He's just swimming like a beast just through the water. It's like, oh my god, this guy's like a blur.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, Chiefy, hit the engines. And Hooper's like, God, what would he be?
He'd be like a
Helsing.
Well, yeah, he'd be maybe like a priest.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe he's like a Christian monk or like a priest or some religious figure.
Brody would still be like the chief of police.
Well, of course, and Brody's unchanged, completely the same. But instead of a fear of water, he has to have a fear of like not bats. I don't think bats is too. Then maybe he's like super queasy when he sees blood. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Like some geeks.
Some geeks coming down here, too. You know,
Not a beach umbrella, not a sunlight. Look how many freaking brushes are on that shelf.
So many brushes. Even in that urn that fell over.
That's the kind of store that I want to shop at. Like Amity is genuinely a place I want to live. Like this 1974, 75 Amity. Yep.
It looks kind of nice.
It looks beautiful. A little hardware store where you can get your paint supplies, but not beach umbrellas or sun loungers or
Nope, they don't got that much.
yeah, I haven't got a single thing on here out.
Oh, instead of anchors, he'd have like what? We got to change every detail.
Well, it wouldn't be 4th of July. It would be Halloween's coming up, you know, or something like
Halloween's just
that.
around the corner.
So he's wearing
Pumpkins.
yeah, it's like pumpkins or tombstones or yeah. Jolly. Oh shit! Do you think Red Rowboat Guy is the same here as later? I never thought about that.
Oh, with the Boy Scouts, maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, what
Because
was
maybe
the
that
rowboat color? Wasn't it yellow? I
no,
don't know.
it's red,
It's red. Yeah.
and that gives more credence to why that random dude would just be like approaching these kids and being like, "Fellas, pull in the sheets. You got to tie it this way." Cause maybe he's like
Mm-hmm.
connected through scouts or something.
Yeah, it kind of that's a good thing because it sets him up later on. Because like, who the hell is this guy think he is coming up to these kids and talking to them on a boat?
I can't believe I never even like thought about that before. Because I'm thinking about it in the most base, like how you could communicate something like that in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Red Rowboat. We see it once, we see it later. Could they be connected? This is. I would be so not dealing with this bullshit if I was Brody. Like this is such an obvious,
Yeah,
strong arm like
I was
brush
wrong.
off thing.
Was that
Yeah,
like the coroner,
I
like
was
the
wrong.
autopsy or what?
Yeah, the medical inspector they call him. I think
Okay.
the coroner. Yeah, it's all psychological. When I get to be an older man, I think I would like to go as Mayor Vaughn for Halloween one year. Panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
For the July.
He's so good.
Yeah, I like how he enunciates July.
On the 4th of July. He's seen earlier where he's smoking in the hospital. He's just, my kids were on that beach too.
Yep. Yep. He's the worst mayor in all of movie history, I think.
I am a little bit disappointed that they don't do a little bit more with like his explicit ties to organized crime in this.
Oh, in the book, do they talk about that in the book?
Oh man, it's a whole like basically the dude who was on the ferry just there, the one who was like, we've never had those kind of troubles in these waters. He's a reporter, and in the book, he approaches Brody like super early on, being like, "Hey, some shady stuff is going down in City Hall, and that's probably why you're getting pushback here, even before the shark stuff starts happening."
Oh, right.
And then they continue to go into like, "Hey, and it, in the book, like Brody, Cooper, and Quint and Hooper go out on the boat, but they return to land like 3, 4, 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep going out to hunt the shark. It's not just one big long expedition.
Right.
So he keeps getting more updates on like what's happening with Mayor Vaughn, and he keeps like pushing his buttons, being like, "Hey, I know that you're on the shady side. I'm going to do what I need to do to protect people." It's an interesting and more plausible reason than just, well, we need the summer dollars. It's also because I'm personally invested in this scheme that the mafia is doing, and if I don't pay them back with some of this money, I'm personally going to be on the line.
I like that, like, because he's put between a rock and a hard place. Then he's got to keep the beaches open to pay off the mob. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, like it's not just for the interest of the town to keep the beaches open. It's also his selfish, reasons.
Right.
Which I think lends more like weight to the line of my kids were on that beach too. Like he's like, I didn't have a choice, and I also did this, and I put my own kids in danger. You know how shitty I feel about this, like all together.
And look at that. There's another thing that I noticed, that the lifeguard chair way up there, nobody's up there like manning it. So it's like they could have spotted a shark from up there probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good because Kittner needs to die at this scene. So
Kittner needs to die. But sacrifice must be made. Lay him on the table.
me alone, Harry.
Yeah, this guy takes a job in a small community, like goes there to be the chief of police, and everybody's just giving him shit all the time. But it is, I think it is funny how like there's so many of um, Roy Scheider's parts that he plays where he's like, because he's that man is just made out of leather, like wallet leather,
Oh
right?
yeah, he's like aged like to like
And
leathery skin. Yeah, beef jerky.
clearly he spent a lot of time outside, and he seems like the kind of person who spent a lot of time in this, like the northeastern on the beach, just outdoors kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
And knowing what I know about his earlier years, I just like he probably tried to work that into a lot of his characters. Like, yeah, but what if he's from like Nantucket? That way I can wear my boat shoes and
that's so shallow. That blood.
yeah. But they say it in the movie too. Like most shark attacks happen in 3 feet of water. It's
Oh,
not far from the beach,
dang.
but that's just because that's where the density of the commotion is. And most shark attacks, at least they know that this is the behavior in great white sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Most shark attacks with great white sharks are what they call exploratory bites,
Mm,
because sharks, the only way that they can interact with the world around them is really the greatest way they can interact is with their mouth.
right. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like they don't have hands to feel, they don't have senses to be able to tell them things. So to learn if something is edible or not, or learn more about it, they need to take a bite of it. And sometimes if they are just curious, what is this thing, and they take a bite of a person, well, that's fatal to us. And then they realize, oh, I don't want to eat that. Then they just swim away.
Yeah. You got to wonder because when you see some sharks like up close, they have scuffs and scratches and like dings and nicks in their fins and stuff. It's like, is that due to them just trying to like thrash about and explore and figure things out? Like if they get hit with a bunch of like coral or uh, if they're like navigating, I don't know, around boats and things like that, and like they get nicked by a huge boat propeller or something like that. They're pretty sturdy and really hardy, but like, are they just doing it to test what they're feeling, or like you got to wonder what's going through their head when they're like analyzing things.
Yeah, a lot of like they've on those Shark Week shows that they've done, they've attached just bait to things like floating rubber buoys basically to try and get the sharks to bite them, to research whatever they're researching at the time, just to basically get the sharks to the surface and be able to have exposure to the creatures.
Yeah.
And they've noticed that it's when they're not actually actively feeding, they'll go up to something that doesn't have any food or any reason for them to bite it, and they'll just take a tiny little nibble. They'll put their mouth on it and then let go just to see what is this thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, them doing that to a person is like super damaging to us. They just don't know that. In the times that they maybe are not doing the thing of like, I'm gonna eat you. I mean, you know about the subplot in the book of Hooper having an affair with Brody's wife, right?
Um, I think we might have talked about it at one point, but we didn't like go over how much of that is like a a big plot point.
In the book?
Yeah, like is it
Oh
explored
gosh.
like a lot?
Yes, yes. Because in the book, Brody's wife is more of like she came from a wealthy family who would vacation in a place like Amity. And way back when, she like had a little thing with Hooper's older brother. And by the time that the shark stuff starts happening and she's married to Brody on Amity, when
Mm,
Hooper gets there, he basically jogs all the memories that she used to have of like her life being like young, vibrant, rich, able to do whatever she wanted, and now she feels chained to her life of being like a mother, a wife, doing very little in this small town. She doesn't like get to spend a lot of money or do a lot of the things that she used to do, and she's just kind of like resentful that that's her life, but not. And so when she sees Hooper, she's like, oh shit, this is the younger brother of that dude that I used to date. And that was when I was having a bunch of fun. He reminds me of that time. And he kind of flirts with her a little bit. And then they, it very much goes into exploring that whole side of it.
Hmm.
And Brody, I can't remember if she tells him or not, but he finds out. And like, I think it's like the third time that they go out or something. It's later into when they're hunting the shark. Brody finds out and he confronts Hooper, and they almost like get into blows over it.
I think that's all it takes is like guys back in the 70s to like discuss it, fight about it, maybe like exchange fists, and then come out like, all right, you seem cool.
Well, in the book, they kind of like they respect each other enough to be like, look, I trust that you know what you're talking about when it comes to your job, but other than that, they kind of like very openly don't like each other. Oh. They work together and they do what they need to do, but they're also like, fuck you, you're fucking my wife. Like, yeah. Oh. But it's interesting because in the movie, obviously Hooper survives. In the book, he dies because he goes down into the cage just like in the movie, but the shark attacks and gets him. And Hooper or Brody and Quint are still up on the boat, and they're seeing all the commotion in the water. They're like, oh shit, get it up, get it up, get it up. And all of a sudden the shark breaches the water with Hooper like hanging out of its mouth.
Oh, that would have been an awesome scene.
And Brody at the time has like Quint's rifle, or like a big ass rifle, and he's like, fuck you, shark. And he tries to shoot the shark. He shoots Hooper in the neck, and he actually kills Hooper while he's in the shark's mouth accidentally.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, he also kind of has feelings of like, well, good riddance, motherfucker. You're sleeping with my wife. You sort of deserve it. But like, oh God, I also just shot this man when I didn't mean to.
Yeah. Smile, you son of a bitch.
Oh, that's so good.
I really wanted like a tiny little sailboat like that for the lake. I think that would be fun to do. I've seen like Fair Hills is this little resort place on Pelican, and they always have these tiny little schooners or little just sail catamaran things that just seem really fun to just dink around in on the water. And a little bit more like exciting than just going out on a motorboat, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's on a sail and
I've only operated a boat, like a motorboat, a few times, and it's never with like outboard motor. I'm so poor at my terms. It's always been like I'm sitting down and I'm at the wheel rather than holding on to the engine at the back and like
I know
steering
what you mean.
Like
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a sailboat like with that would be really fun. So, okay, is this day for night? I don't think so.
Well, maybe. I look at shadows.
There are some shots where I'm like, this looks like it's during sunset, sunrise, but then because that light bulb is too bright versus the sky behind it for me to think that it's just daytime.
Right.
I don't know.
I think certain shots, like those close-ups, could have been switched up, but like, that is definitely like a magic hour shot that they just like stop down the aperture a little bit, or
Yeah, I'm sure that the light, when you're in an environment where it's like basically on the open ocean, you're like right at the beach line. I'm sure that magic hour time in certain parts of the year lasts a lot longer, and that light carries a lot differently because there's like nothing to block it, and there's a lot more to refract it in different ways.
That's true. Yeah, it seems like it stays up there forever because there's no like tree lines and things like that.
His little noises.
Yeah. Ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Ooh, ouchies.
Dang.
Alan, come look at this.
This guy got bit by a vampire.
Big vampire right on his leg.
Hey.
These two guys going out hunting for vampires.
They put garlic, or no, what would they put? Like
I don't know.
A virgin on a rope.
They just tie a bunch of blood bags to like the end of a rope or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or I mean, you could get really dark with it, where like these two guys go out there and they're like, "All right, we're out here now. It's time to set the bait. What do we got?" And the one guy turns to him and he's like, just
Shoots
gives
him
him a
with a
look.
gun.
Will be like pulls out a knife and like cuts his arm or something, or like does something to make him bleed a bunch, and then just puts him in the water and like, ha, come on, vampire.
So the whole time we're watching this, I'm just thinking this is a vampire swimming really fast.
It kind of also doesn't make a ton of sense because it's like he must have taken the chain with the big turkey or roast on it, right? That's a big ass
Yeah.
shark. That's like 30 feet. So then there's how much length of chain and then this little piece of the pier.
Yep.
But he's like, the guy is only swimming so many feet in front of it. It just seems like the spacing should be. Whatever.
They ate my turkey. They ate my big ham hock, whatever that was.
My wife's roast. This legend.
Look at this dude.
He's just gonna
Milk?
plonk down somewhere
gonna
in
make
public.
What's
He's
he
gonna eat cereal.
Oh, that's a cereal. That's a cereal setup. Yeah, okay.
He's got his own. He brought a bowl. He's about to eat cereal in public, and he's smoking his pipe. He's just a legend, man.
He is.
He looks like he belongs on like a bag of chips or something, or as a little doodle mascot for somebody's business.
Like the Quaker Oats guy, but
It's just this old sea dog with his pipe and his cereal fixins. Hello there, young feller. Ben Gardner.
I love this. The background actors here.
Mm-hmm.
I just love looking at what they're all doing, and that's dynamite. Jesus. I'm going on a boat. I'm gonna kill myself. Okay, I won't stop it. It's the 4th of July.
I can't tell what he's got in his other hand, what that box was, but
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
oh, the other dude here. There's a dude over there that's in a camo jacket, and he's the one that goes, "A what?" I just noticed that from afar.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean.
I'd never seen that before.
Hi.
I love this little shack that they're in. I love it. I think this is the same one that the sailor dude came out of.
Yep.
These little
he's
buildings.
smoking in like a bunch of
yeah,
turpentine and flammable shit.
Maybe this is like some sort of fuel station for the gosh. But like the interior of the interior of Quint's shack, they feel almost like the town from Popeye, like Popeye's village, where they're like completely fake.
Yeah, like basically zero insulation. You can just see the studs, exposed studs, and just it's just meant for utility and not for living, really.
And maybe there's only these two walls that we see. You know? They didn't even build the whole building.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. But that's a place that also feels very real and very lived in. Like, it feels very kind of like held together by tape and toothpicks, but it also feels very real.
Are you talking about the Popeye stuff still?
No, I'm talking about this. But,
okay.
I mean, also
I'm still thinking, like, yeah, in relation to the Popeye stuff, it did seem very sailor-oriented, and everybody's shack or shanty was like, it looked like they could just jump right into the water and swim away or get in their boat like these people. They're chumming right now. They are chums, man. Cherry bombs.
That's so crazy to think about, like back in the 70s, if something like that, like just, or I mean, this could be set anywhere else, and then it's just replace the boats with like pickup trucks, you know?
True.
But people that kind of thing happened socially. Like people would just have these crazes go through them, and stuff like that would go on.
Yeah, well, it's a whole thing. It's like they think they're being macho, and yeah, we'll go get this, and then the like the fame of killing the beast. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's always been something men would love to do and be proud of. Like, I'm gonna be the first to kill that beast.
I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna kill this beast. Asurus glaucus.
Squalus. This guy's bored. You're making me sad.
You come into my place and tell me how to do my business, boy.
You talk about glaucuses in my house.
With your Asurus glaucus, with your fancy headset.
It was a vampire.
It was Le Vampire.
It was Orlok. Nosferatu.
So this is a real shark carcass right here. This is a real tiger shark.
Damn.
I always wondered whether this was a prop or what. It just so happened that at the time they were shooting, somebody had randomly accidentally just caught a tiger shark, and so
Brody's face. Ew.
I'm happy, but I'm also disgusted.
I killed it with an arrow. Oh, there's that boy. First appearance of the orca, just chilling.
Sorry, man.
You just hear him say, "Fail." Fake news. he's
He's loving it.
Yeah,
These college boys got their first shark, huh? Imagine being that photographer. You get one shot and everybody breaks, and you're like, okay.
All right, then.
I guess that was it. What kind of shark?
What shark? I had to hear that. What kind of shark? What? No way. Wait, this guy is switching gears here. He goes, a what? Like very like feminine. He's like, it's a man eater. What you talking about, punk?
It just comes out of nowhere. The dialect is completely different.
Yeah, the guy like has split personalities just on a whim.
I love Hooper's line there. What he says, he's like, I'm not saying it's not the shark. I'm just saying it could not be the shark. It's just semantics that I don't want to get beaten up over.
Yeah. He's a practical politician. Yeah,
he's so good.
Say it again. 100 to 1.
100 to 1. It's 100 to 1, Martin. 100 to 1.
100 to 1. Come on. Cut it open like a tauntaun. Do it.
Fellas.
Eh?
Not the time or the place.
Damn, that was a bad, was a bad hit.
It was meaty. Got him right into the jawline, right behind the ear. And she didn't even hit him with like
Like an
the
open palm.
palm
Yeah,
in.
it was like
Yeah,
the
she hit
side
him
of
with
the.
like, yeah, like the butt of her heel, kind of like, and her palm. She went for it. She really went for
She was doing like a monk strike or something.
it. The only one who can truly combat the vampires. The mother of Alex Kidner, secret martial arts master.
Trained in the art of the monk.
Goes around karate chopping all the vampires at the end.
That would have been a fun thing for her character to like go out with these guys and like, I'm gonna find this motherfucker. And
Well,
she like punches it in the face.
imagine she doesn't even go out with them. They go out on their own. And then later she shows up solo on her own boat, like fucking Ahab, full of thunder and fury, just like,
With the guy with
dives into
the
the
pipe and the cereal. He's like,
yeah.
I'll bring you out, Miss Kittner.
He's driving and she's on the front of the boat just with a spear in hand and dives into the water.
I'll get you. This is for This is for Alex.
Alex Kintner, your fingers are starting to prune. God, the whole smile you son of a bitch is so good for vampires.
It is. It works great. Show me that smile again.
Come on, show me the tank. Show me that smile again. Don't waste another minute on your biting.
Show me that smile again.
If there was going to be a sound from Jaws, what would it be?
Black eyes like a doll's eyes.
Black eyes like a dog's
There's
eyes.
so many great quotes though. That's some bad hat, Harry. I mean,
Yeah.
Smile, you son of a bitch. If I vampire.
Live by a vampire.
This kid's face.
You ever had this happen with your kids?
Just stare down. Yeah, I do that all
Well,
the
no,
time.
like them copying what you're doing and stuff.
Oh yeah. My son starts saying like whenever I'm like explaining something to him, he goes, "Oh." He'll just start saying, "Oh." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we do when we do this and blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh." And then I'll just keep talking, and he's just like, "All right, you can stop." Oh. And they start making out in the background. I'm Ellen. Hi. Nice to see you. You smell like a salty dog.
Yeah, and Martin's always like at least half drunk and just pissed about everything in his life. Nobody's really in a good spot. The only person who seems like they know who they are and what they want in life is Quint.
That's true. He's
But then
comfortable.
again,
He's had a long life to like. Well, he does have those scars of Indianapolis, and I mean, he's mentally I don't know all there, and maybe that just does his character better to be like a borderline sociopath or just like a manic character, because that's what he is. He's like
yeah.
barking at everybody to do things, and
Well, he never goes through any of the Indianapolis stuff in the book. He never talks about that. But
I
they
know
make it clear.
that's a Milius thing, but
Mhm.
his yeah, I don't know his demeanor in the book, if it's unhinged or anything like that, but it comes off like that here.
I mean, he's pretty similar. He's like closed off from the rest of the community. He still interacts when he has to, but he's for the most part stays on his own. Pretty curmudgeonly, pretty rough around the edges kind of person.
Is he same age ish?
Um,
Like if you would guess, like
I would
late
have to say
50s
so.
or...
Yeah, somewhere 50s probably, because I think they say something about him serving in, I don't know, but yeah, he his big moment in the book is having like Hooper and Brody discover this like big drum or tub or something that has like the carcass of a baby dolphin that he hunted and got specifically for a shark hunt. and they're both like super pissed about it. Like, what the fuck, dude? And he's like, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do out in the open sea. They're like, I don't know if you really have to do that.
Jeez.
Like, and Hooper goes out of his way to be like, no, clearly you like
Oh my God,
went, found a mother and cut her open and like took this thing, or like they just make it clear that he was pretty ugly about it.
That's visual storytelling right there. Brody's like, I get this tall boy. You guys get wine glasses.
Yeah, can you imagine that much wine?
He's like, you got to let that breathe. He's like, sure.
Yeah, whatever you say, bud. And then he just starts downing it.
Yep. Takes
He's
big
not even
swigs.
sipping.
Yeah. No fragrance and bouquet, and there's like notes of whatever. He's like, I'm just gonna down this.
If you watch really closely, he also pours it into a glass that is not empty. So whatever drink he had before got mixed with all that wine.
Yeah, coffee or something.
or beer or whatever else he was drinking.
Just a nice cocktail.
Drowning. I'm so done with the fact that I have a fear of water, Ellen.
Rogue. Because sharks, I don't know their temperament really when if they swim in packs or if there's a mom. It's like what the situation is like that.
It's different for a lot of the species.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, like I know that hammerheads are sometimes operate in like packs or I forget what they call them, but they do operate more in groups than some other kinds. Like from what I understand, great whites are pretty solitary. They just operate on their own. They're able to be a part of a community, but without really interacting with one another.
Mm-hmm. I used to
it's like
get into what the offspring of animals were called. You know, like cow, calf, and things like that. There are some like calf fish, or ocean
like the whale calf.
Yeah,
but I guess they're mammals, so maybe that's part of it. I just took a peek at my window and I noticed that a bunch of ants were coming in through a crack. So
yeah, we get spiders in my basement in the summer. I say, burp, 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 here they come.
So now my room is going to smell like cinnamon for a little bit, but I think I took care of it for now.
That's not too bad. Cinnamon's pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you have those little ant traps?
Somewhere probably. I just don't know where, and I don't want to spend the time tearing things apart to look at right now. I'll get some set up tomorrow. Yeah, I'm on the second floor, so I'm like, where are they coming from?
Bikes and rentals and bikes?
I wear this hat on the front of my head, everybody. Hat's too small for my head.
Hippies. I see a lot of bikes. A lot of people want to hang out and go, oh, look at that shark thing.
You nerds doing?
Oh, look at who it is.
Killer Shark by Sega.
Sega Shark.
The Sega Shark.
Sega Shark Cast.
Shark Tale.
Shark me tuna.
So, Bradshaw, we're trying to come up with ways to connect Jaws, but instead of Jaws, it's a vampire. So instead of named Jaws, we called it Fangs.
Yeah.
And instead of like Quint being like a fisherman, he'd be like a Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Brody would be the chief of police, Brody, and then Hooper would be some kind of a monk,
Demonologist or something.
maybe a demonologist. That'd be cool.
Since he's a marine biologist or wherever the fuck in this.
Yeah, we were thinking maybe some sort of like Christian or like religious figure or
Yeah.
Catholic, like not hitman, but like Catholic, like heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Like a
working.
Catholic, like a official demonologist for the Catholic Church or something.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be cool.
But he's like a vampire that's in like one of the old timey red and white striped leotard like swimsuits, and he's got like the curly mustache and part down the hair, part down the middle hair, and like
He still is a great swimmer and kills people in the water.
You're keeping it in the water?
yeah.
You know? And it's still happening on like, well, on a holiday, but instead of the 4th of July, it's like Halloween.
Right.
We got a massacre on the Halloween Eve.
On October 31st, on All Hallows Eve.
The other thing about vampires.
Yep.
I got black eyes. I got lifeless eyes. Black eyes. I got those eyes.
Like vampires, I guess.
Like a wolfman's eyes, Chiefy.
Like a bat's eyes.
So it's just an ongoing thing we started.
Yeah.
We like it so far. I mean, it's working.
Yeah. Mayor Vaughn. I said that Mayor Vaughn, instead of like trying to dissuade him from closing the beaches due to tourism money, he just like is the person who's like, no, Chief, those are just old stories. Vampires aren't real.
Yeah. I was gonna say, because otherwise the rest of this translates into a monster movie pretty good. You just need to shift a couple things.
Yeah.
You know, all the people going out hunting it and like all that shit and the hysteria and the town shit and
Amity Island is called if Amity means fellowship or whatever, you know, friendship, it should be called like Salem Island or something like that.
Well,
Yep. Transylvania Island.
or like
Well, what's another word?
hemoglobin.
Yeah, something that doesn't mean friendship. Something that means like anti-friendship, like enemies.
Yeah, like we go like deep Latin to like find the root of like blood or some kind of like palatolate or something,
like
you know.
Sanguine Island.
Yeah, sanguinous.
Ooh,
sanguinous is-
that's sanguinous. It's just sanguinous.
I think sanguinous is Latin for blood.
Harry. Stop thrashing about. You're gonna wake up the demon.
You're gonna kick the camera.
Sanguis.
What kind of-
Sanguis. It's Latin for blood.
What kind of housing like did they put on the cameras back then for when they had to go put like submerge them like this?
They just put them in old timey fucking
glass box.
scuba diving helmets.
That would be hilarious if they put the camera in like one of those full suits and you just see the lens through that like little portal.
Yeah, exactly.
People are having a wonderful time. No vampires anywhere.
Sanguinous means blood.
As you know, sanguinous means blood. And not a single vampire around. But like he's also like, thanks to this, everybody's enjoying their time on the beach. Thanks to this new 300 SPF sunscreen I have. And then like, the vampires just casually walking around in the background in some shots. He's like just slathered in sunscreen.
It's fine, yeah. He's just creamy as shit.
And that's how he's like swimming after him in the daytime. They're like, oh god, there he
He's got like
comes.
SPF like 1,000,000 just so he's protected from the sun.
Yeah, he's just like
Dumps multiple bottles on him and doesn't rub it in, so he's just covered in cream.
yeah, he just literally is like stark white in the water.
Yep.
But he moves in the water like David Hasselhoff in the SpongeBob movie, where he's just like a person-shaped speedboat kind of.
Yeah, he's like on a boogie board too.
Oh Jesus! They like
Boogeyman board, dude.
they hang crosses and garlic and all sorts of stuff on the outside of the ship.
Let's turn the ocean into broth with garlic. We'll stir it with crosses.
Yeah, and then instead of like chumming, they're just throwing garlic off the boat
Yeah, like
to ward it off.
entire canisters of like garlic powder and minced garlic and stuff, just dumping it in.
Tastes like soup.
Ooh, salty and garlicky.
Yeah.
Instead of Jaws jumping out the water when he's chumming, you just see this guy just swim up with like big snorkel goggles on. He's like, "You bastard!"
But he still like kind of pops out of the water and just opens his mouth and goes, ah, and then goes back down into the water.
He like hisses like a cat and then goes back underwater.
And Brody backs up. We're gonna need a bigger steak.
Backs up into the cabin. We're gonna need a bigger steak.
Where Quint is already sharpening steaks and like Hooper's sitting there going over his Bible and like talking to his cross. That's how religion works, right? You talk to your cross.
You talk to your idol.
Yeah. Very much.
Vampire.
Vampire, he's going into the pond. You see him just
Hey
walk on
guys,
water.
you okay over there? Oh, it's like the end of what was that Jason movie where Jason pops out of the water and to the girl in the boat?
Oh yeah, that's the first movie.
Well, instead of the shark like knocking the boat over, the vampire just pops out of the water behind the guy and bites onto his neck, and all the kids are like,
Holy shit. Mm-hmm. Make it fit. Hot dogs.
Guys, okay over there?
Oh shit, my dinghy. Whoa, that's freaky. Oh yeah, that I now that you mention that, because Wilson was talking about like this moment where you just see like the shadow of Jaws, and like just if you're ever in that situation when you're in the lake or on the water, it just gives you that kind of foreboding sense of like, oh shit, something's down there. You just gotta put your feet up on your desk or get them off the floor.
Thank God that they didn't include the scene that they tried to shoot of this, where there was going to be an additional shot of the shark and Michael in the same frame, where the shark is swimming past him with the dude hanging out of his mouth, and the dude reaches out and grabs onto Michael and drags him along with them in a thing of like, oh, help me, and then he dies and lets go of Michael, and Michael's like obviously traumatized by it.
Yeah, that'd be nuts.
Yeah, they cut it because they're like, that's way too much. I think you can still see some behind the scenes footage of them shooting that.
He's like, I gotta go out there and kill this motherfucker.
It's such an amazing shot. Like, it's so simple, but it says so much.
Mm-hmm.
Every time that they just show you the water like that.
Is this where he says he wants to drink coffee?
No, he wants
ice
coffee
cream.
ice cream.
Oh yeah.
I used to think that, though. I used to think that he was actually asking for the drink coffee. I was like, what? Ice cream? No, Mom. Bring me coffee.
Yeah. It's like, got ice cream. Just give me coffee.
Although coffee ice cream is superb.
I do love a good coffee ice cream.
It's been a while since I had it, and it's like kind of few and far between that you see it. But every time I've had it, I've been like, oh, yeah, this is real good.
It is a bean, just like vanilla bean.
Well, and she also kind of like resents him the whole time, since she's like, you don't have to stay here. You know, you chose this job. We can go back to New York. You can go back to working for the New York Police Department. Like, we don't have to.
Pen, you know.
A pen. My kids were on that beach too.
I like how his tie's not that tight anymore. He's not put together enough. His hair's kind of disheveled and.
August,
Shark City.
You're the mayor of Vampire City.
You want to keep the churches open. Or the hospitals. That's where A vampire would love to
Here it
prey
is.
upon.
Run that beach, Chew. There's only so many ways that you can sullenly smoke a cigarette, and he really hit one of them there.
That's true.
Petty the foie gras. Nobody in the color TV.
There's something about his cadence and his rhythm. It's so funny to me. One guy was a legend.
God, yeah. Three cases of apricot brandy.
Champagne.
Potato foie gras. Arabian caviar. Don't forget the color TV. Electric toothbrushes. Portable shower and monkey cage.
Tie me a sheepshank.
Hey, tie me a sheepshank.
I'm talking about a great white.
I'm talking about Harrigan.
I have had a great time.
Workers.
Here's Mr. Hooper.
Tie me a bowline.
Tie me a bow-legged women. Tie me a fair Spanish lady.
Oh, you hit my hat.
So that place just has like a hammock, a rocking chair, and then assorted quint things.
Yep, just shark jaws,
Quintessential.
jawbones,
Quintessentials.
the quints.
The quintessentials, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep, a ship's wheel. Yep.
Gotta have the helm, dude.
How else are you going to steer your house?
Gotta make sure it's turning towards the sun.
Like, you know how they have those on playgrounds? Just do that, like, literally. That would cost you, like, nothing just to install a fake steering wheel in your house. Then the next people that buy that house are like, what the fuck?
Why do they have a helm here?
So you can steer the house, of course.
I'm talking about a Prince of Darkness TV. He's got the black eyes, the soulless eyes.
He's got the blood of the dragon, Chiefy.
Oh, wait. The blood of a dragon. His homie just is awesome. That dude, whatever that guy's name is, I don't even know if he has a name, but he just chirps in.
That guy has big, like, he has a deleted scene where he like rebels against Quint. But based on that guy's performance in that deleted scene, he reminds me a lot of the Butler from Spider-Man 3, I think, where he's like, "Your father was killed by his own glider."
I was inspecting his wounds the night he died.
Yeah, and that guy's deleted scene, he's like, "You're going crazy over this shark, Mr. Quint. I won't do it."
So just the delivery was kind of off.
The whole thing was off. I think that was very much just a person they found, you know, on the day, or like who was local.
Well, he's been in a few of the scenes, like when Quint was like scratching on the chalkboard, he was back there with his dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I basically, his deleted scene was to explain who the fuck that guy is and what he was doing there. Like, oh, I guess he does. Yeah, he works with Quint and to this extent, etc.
He was the other survivor of the Indianapolis.
He was like the little grease spoon. He was just a like little dude coolie who worked in the kitchen, didn't say much, just peeled the potatoes.
He seems the type, you know.
Yeah, that man is very much a Popeye figure.
Tell kids that I'm hunting the Prince of Darkness.
So what would his like cool little line be if he was going vampire hunting?
Oh my!
Tell him I'm.
Tell him I'm. I don't know. There's so many things you could pull from. The lore of Dracula is huge.
I remember when I visited Dublin, there was a like it was like a block. It was like around the corner from.
Best shot in the movie.
Yeah, that's a good shot. I remember when we were staying in Dublin, like around the corner from where we were staying, it was like right next to a church. There was a statue of, I don't even remember what her name was, but the story on the plaque that was attached to the statue reminded me a whole lot of his little like limerick there.
Yeah.
Because it was basically about like, oh, here's this local figure that we've remembered for years and years, and she died when she was very young, but she was known for this and this. And I was like, wow, it just reminds me so much of Quint's little limerick.
Yeah.
Here lies the body of Mary Lee.
Lost her virginity.
For 15 years, she kept her virginity.
I don't know. I see it. I don't know.
I just love when somebody just jumps in and says a Quint line in his little mush mouth talking. It's just so good.
So are electric toothbrushes.
You can just say anything. You can just in his weird little inflections and just randomly.
Oh, look at this man.
We gotta get it a better hay.
What kind of beer was that, Bracho? Didn't they like have a? They did something like a few years ago for Quint, right?
Oh yeah, that's his special beer. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, it's like a Ham's beer or something like that.
Yes, it's that kind of a thing.
Narragansett.
Narragansett. Narragansett.
Throw me a cold Narragansett there, Mr. Hooper.
Hey, GP said Narragansett.
It's him offering him a beer. He's like, hey, Narragansett.
What goes in the hole comes out the hole, Chiefy. Comes out the hole and it goes back in the cave again, Chiefy.
Brody's getting upset because he's
come back out.
Brody's getting upset.
Shaking out the Narragansett TV. TV called. He's red eyes.
Brody's getting upset
like a drunk side.
He's seeing Quint and Hooper drink all these beers, and Hooper's just getting really, really shitty on all the beers. And Brody's like, Quint, when am I gonna get one of these? Hooper drinks the beer, Chiefy.
He drives the boat and drinks the beer. I sit here and eat crackers. You play the solitaire. Hey, I got it. Goes in the hole, comes out the hole. Hey, give me a nugget.
So
Pour
I mean,
water in my crotch.
they obviously had the like tram, like part of the tram ride that you would go through, and there would be jaws that would pop up.
Yeah. Yep.
And then at some point they also had like a separate. It was kind of the same thing, just a little bit longer. Of a separate Jaws ride. But can you imagine if they were somehow able to like do something like this, where they've got like a Truman Show-esque, like kind of big room with a giant water tank that they just have like a boat like this floating in that maybe moves on some kind of track, but they have somebody that's like playing Quint and somebody that's playing Hooper, and you're there to like help them catch the shark. And at certain points, this big animatronic shark pops up, and you've got to do like help hook up the barrels and all this stuff.
I love that. That'd be awesome. I'd pay for that experience. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, like a really elaborate escape room kind of a thing, except it's less escape room and like experience this movie.
Well, it would be doing like solving problems and figuring out puzzles. Still, it's like you need to find the such and such thing for Quint so he can clip into his seat, you know? You have to like dig through the orca and find it.
Yeah, you could have something where it's like just call it, I mean, for lack of a better term, just call it like this movie title experience. So like the Jaws experience, the whatever experience. You could have one for Alien, where you're like in the interior of the Nostromo, and they just have like,
oh my god,
that's where
that's like
the motion detector radar, and then you're
in Nostromo TV.
They've got it going off and beeping, and maybe somebody's like walking around far behind you around corners and stuff, just like banging on walls and making noises. And but you've got to, set off these. You've got
here's the thing. They
set up these like systems on the Nostromo to help set off like an escape pod or a self-destruct sequence or something without encountering the alien.
In that book, Ready Player One, there's that those sequences where he had to like relive war games and then relive Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's like doing that for Jaws. Like, I think Wilson would probably win that Jaws one pretty single-handedly.
The only way that my mind could survive living through that was if I was Brody.
Touching your penises.
Marlin, Stingray, fit right through this piano wire.
Put it tip to tip, Chiefy.
Tip to tip.
It's called docking, Chiefy.
Hey, put it tip to tip, Chiefy.
It's called sounding, Chiefy. Here, let me show you.
Let me show you the goatsy, Chiefy.
Oh, God.
You ever see a man put a jar up his ass, Chiefy?
Oh. The line, you're going to need a bigger boat, takes on a whole new meaning.
You ever been to meatspin.com?
You spin me right around, Chiefy.
I'm talking about lemon party, Chiefy.
I'm talking about tub girl, Chiefy.
That shark's like a tub girl.
You ever seen Tub Girl's brown eye, Chiefy?
You ever see two sharks together, Chiefy?
The USS Indianapolis story just becomes like Tub Girl and like old internet search histories.
There I was in an AOL chat
two sharks, one sailor.
25 men watched that sounding video.
I remember.
Only 10 men survived.
There were 300 of us in that chat room, and only 200s clicked on that link. We didn't know what domain it was taking us to. We didn't know what video we were seeing. But we clicked anyways, Chiefy.
Curiosity got the best of us,
Those were the
Chiefy.
nascent, brave days of the internet, Chiefy. You clicked without warning because you knew what you were going to be seeing.
You wanted to just feel something, Chiefy. A new emotion. A visceral experience.
Well, I don't care if it was revolting. I felt something that day, Chiefy.
Yeah. Thanks for the food.
Stop throwing blood in my water.
Is that Green Lantern's light up there, Bradshaw?
That had Green Lantern's light up there, Chief.
Quit start saying the oath.
Right as day. Darkest night. No evil shall escape my sight. And those who worship evil's might. Beware my power.
Hey, hey.
Green Lantern's light. Brightest day in blackest eyes.
Oh my god.
No doll shall escape my eyes.
God damn it.
But the thing about willpower, Chiefy.
It's not that I don't feel fear, Chiefy. It's that I'm able to overcome great fear.
Nice. I learned it that day in the waters. The Indianapolis taught me much. 'Twas how to wield the willpower. Really got me through it, Chiefy. And then I had the old flag starter.
Oh, look at those Hanks.
3 days we spent in the water, Chiefy. Morning of the 4th day, I reached over. Thought it was Tomar Ray. He'd been bitten in half by a vampire.
The ultimate mashup.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I mean, if he's going to be a Green Lantern, then he's going to be telling stories about the boys, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw Kilowog there. I thought he maybe was sleeping. He
The old Necron comes up.
Yup.
They spelt that Y with 2 V's. What the fuck?
It's another thing about black hands, Chiefy. His hand back. Take it forward.
I love how he calls it porker.
You can start it.
Yeah, there's I think it might be coming up pretty close when they're chasing him. It's kind of lost in the sound mixing, but there's a couple times where Quint yells, "Run him down!" Like I just imagine him like foaming at the mouth, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's so lost in the sound mixing. I'm wondering if it'll even show up in the subtitles.
Sure.
Run him down!
He's like starts meowing.
Yeah, he's just losing it, man.
Yay!
Beep, 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 beep.
Victory music.
It's an empty keg in the Peggy Center.
Have you ever listened to this soundtrack on its
good.
own?
Yes, it's very good.
It moves like so nicely.
Yeah, they've like the leitmotif. It's like something that, you know, a lot of composers like to pepper in throughout the movie, and then like have a huge like epic culmination of all of that, a crucial point in the movie. And yeah, John Williams in this one is just, he's using
Jay Willie
everything.
style, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, like in Star Wars, you have the opening theme, you have Leia's theme, you have the Force theme. There's like all these different pieces that happen for different characters or moments or like locations or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And in this, it's just like different motifs and musically, I'm not even sure how to put it, but there's just different parts that are played with and that keep cropping up. It's not super separate pieces within themselves. They kind of reuse each other and call back and
Radio in and get a bigger boat, dude.
That's a good. That's
I
a
mean,
good
we can
shot.
radio it. I got a bigger.
There's a composer named Eric Wolfgang Korngold.
Dude, holy shit, bro.
He did this music for this movie called The Seahawk.
More like cornhole.
It sounds so much like
Oh,
John Williams was influenced by that.
Time.
Boom, 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 boom.
Hey, oop.
Knocking, darling. St. Patty's Day. St. Patty's Day, Boston. Yeah. He's got a little paper pouch for his tooth. I love that.
Yeah, I just noticed that. He has it in his breast pocket.
It's like end of the day, he just takes his tooth off and it's like, time to unwind. God, every time you say something funny, Eric, it's like when I least expecting it, I'm taking a drink.
Okay, boys,
San
Francisco.
Good to sell.
Celebrating my wife's demise. Big Chinese fellow pulled me right.
My third wife's demise. So what does it look like they ate? Maybe just like a cut of beef and some like potatoes or something like that?
So, some beef.
Yeah, it always just looked like a super simple, like
Potatoes.
maybe steak and potatoes, steak and onions or mushrooms or something like that. Cooking a meal on that little stove and like all the stuff on there.
What if they just started making out? Like they crossed their legs
right.
together and
I'd
there's like,
ship it across their legs.
yeah.
We drink to our legs.
Drink to our legs, I drink to
And
your legs.
all he's got is the appendicitis scar.
And this,
Yeah, he's got an appendix taken out.
But I mean, he was a New York a police officer, so I mean,
Yeah.
he obviously is exposed to. We don't know how much he saw directly, but like he was exposed to stuff like killings, rapings, murders, like all kinds of bad stuff.
Yeah, he's scarred mentally.
But he seems like he feels so out of his element, or so like he can't keep up with the boys because he hasn't experienced the hard stuff, you know.
True. He's got anxiety, so maybe he's just like keeping it all bottled up. No, it's the USS Indianapolis. Okay, we got to give this man some respect here. We got to respect the man.
Did you guys know that there's a movie made about the Indianapolis?
Well,
leave it.
In 2016, USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage, starring, get this, right? Nicolas Cage,
okay.
Thomas Jane,
Whoa.
Tom Sizemore.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
James Remar,
Ooh, nice. I love Remar.
Marley Van Peebles, Mandela Van Peebles. Got two Van Peebles.
The Van
Double
Peebles.
Peebles. It's time.
James Remar, he's Ajax from Warriors, right?
He was Raiden from the second Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah, that's
Dexter's dad.
Yeah.
Yep. That's Ajax, the Warriors.
Adoptive dad. Yep.
All right, motherfuckers. Time. Freeman. Sometimes you won't know it. Oh, fuck. I think about it. Life is a But seem to be that then. He bites. Black eyes rolled over white, and then I hear the terrible high-pitched screaming. Red. And then they all come in and rip you to pieces.
Brody's like, damn.
That's so fucked. Like, the fact that historically that actually happened, maybe not to the exact, proportions that he's talking about, but major loss of life solely due to being in the water with sharks is like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. That's in the military records. That is on the history books.
Sure, there's a lot of them that went to exposure and shit too, but
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of those fuckers were injured, so they're bleeding in the water, right?
Mm-hmm. But he said, like, a lot of men were killed, but also a lot of sharks were killed, seems.
Yeah.
The sinking of Indianapolis resulted in the greatest loss of life at sea from a single ship in the history of the U.S. Navy.
Damn.
Oh.
Like, that is actually...
Big fat pibby, dude?
And also, the fact that they delivered, like, one of the atomic bombs is insane.
Yep.
That's why they, yeah. And came out.
The sharks knew it was going to happen with that bomb.
The sharks were somehow able to, like, nature itself was just like, oh, you're gonna be paying for this.
Yeah, this is a receipt for that bomb that you just made, human.
Calls Chiefy.
The way to go home. Brody hits his head on things a lot. Did you notice that? The sign in the that hallway that he was walking down, he hits that sign. He's hitting the lights. He's just a bumbling goof.
Holy shit. So, looking at the actual numbers of, like, attributed deaths in the Indianapolis sinking is when it went down, about 300 of the roughly 1,200 people that were on board went down with it. So, like, 800 to 900 people roughly were left in the water. And of that, only 316 of the nearly 900 people that were in the water survived.
Holy crap.
Yeah. That's insane. Martin.
Mi corazón.
So I think the first shooting star was actually real and captured in camera, and the second was added.
Sure.
I believe is what the record is on that. And then all of Spielberg's, well, in a lot of his future movies, he would add a shooting star to nighttime scenes.
What a nerd. It had it.
I watched since I watched Last Crusade on VHS, I watched Temple of Doom and Crystal Skull for the first time the other day.
Oh, wow. And those are those are kind of regarded as like the weaker of the series.
Well, I mean,
Temple of
I
Doom's
had
great
s-
because of Kali
I
Ma.
had seen Temple of Doom tons and tons of times. I used to have that. That was the only one that I had on VHS as a kid, so that's the one I've seen the most. But I watched Crystal Skull for the first time.
Gotcha. How do you like Mutt?
I mean, honestly, not as bad as I thought it was. Like from what I'd heard.
I mean, the alien stuff, I thought maybe you would resonate with that a little bit. And that was kind of interesting to me.
I mean, sure, it is not. It does seem like a little bit of a leap to go from like historical artifacts to just aliens, but it still is that same sense of mystery and wonder, etc. It's just certain things surrounding that don't really hold up to me, and it's the same thing with Mutt. It's like the concept of that character and a lot of the things that they set up, I'm down with. It's just some of the stuff that they did with it or surrounding that maybe I wasn't so happy about.
Sure.
Fucking monkey scene, dude.
Yeah, like I knew that at some point he swung on vines and like did that like
Yeah.
between car fencing. But earlier in the movie, they went out of their way to set up like, hey, I studied fencing for a long time and I'm actually really good at it. I just don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
So later on, I was like, okay, you know what? Like it's over the top and ridiculous, but I buy that he could fence, you know, and then push it
Right.
to this place and do it between a car. And the swinging on vines was just like, you know what? It's all right. It's fine.
That's all right, but
It's not the worst thing that could be happening, honestly.
Yeah, they got the nuking of the fridge right away.
Yeah, they got that out of the way pretty early, and like that was the most jumping of the shark thing, in my opinion.
right, nuking the fridge, dumping the shark.
I love this piece. I love this music, and its transition into the triumphant chase music is so wonderful.
Yeah, so jaunty and light.
Yeah, for a movie where we've seen a child be eaten alive and like
No, not John T. It's John W.
John W. Sorry, it's Johnny.
John T. What?
Like John
But
Williams.
it's John T.
John T.
So John T.
Oh yeah.
Not like, no, it's John W.
Is John W. Good catch, Roger.
Good one.
Sorry.
You're on fire tonight, Eric.
I don't know what it is, but it's one of those days, bro.
Just one of those days.
Just one of those he said, she said.
Okay. I did watch the new Transformers movie.
Oh, yeah?
The Beast one?
Yeah.
Was it better than Bumblebee?
No, God, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It was honestly not very good.
Oh, bummer.
It was better than a lot of the Bay ones, but then again, there were so many things that were just like, oh, this is so forced and so like by the numbers and just paced very poorly, in my opinion.
Bummer.
Right.
But I mean, that's not a huge surprise, but like when you watch it, you're just like, what? This feels like it should be halfway through the movie, not 4/5 the way through the movie, you know?
Sure.
And then there is one kind of like big thing that happens at the very, very end that he was like, what the fuck? I understand now why they made some of the decisions they did, but also what the fuck?
Yeah, I heard about the twist.
It was like when the things that were happening in the movie were happening in front of me, I was like, oh, okay, then I guess we're doing this now. But then the end came and I was like, oh, I guess that's why they did that.
Right.
I don't know. Do you care if I say Tyler?
Not really.
Well, the main human character all throughout the movie is like unemployed and trying to support his family and, you know, trying to do these things that people do. And at the end of the movie, he goes in for another job interview and
To note, he's a former military man.
yeah, like
That is important to note.
yeah, it's
It's not just out of nowhere.
It would have been basically the same impact if he wasn't a former soldier, though. But that's
Right,
regardless. Yeah.
It just makes it make a little more sense.
Hmm. He goes in for a job interview, and basically the guy ends up saying like, he asks him like, "Oh, so what have you been doing lately?" And he tells him like very vaguely like, "Oh, I was working internationally, working on some stuff." He's like, "Oh, when you were down in Peru with the Autobots and stuff." He's like, "Oh, how do you know about all that?" And he's like, hey, son, you saved the world. So we're going to pay for your brother's medical bills. And we want to offer you a job. There's a big war that we got going on. We could use your help. And the big guys, your big robot friends, here's my business card. And he, looks around and like talks for a few more minutes. And the very, very end, he flips over the business card and it says G.I. Joe.
What?
So, and like the thing I'm talking about that they did
My
in the
face
movie.
just winced like freaking Hooper did just then.
I know. It feels really weird. But there's like a part where a human wears an Autobot as like armor, like they did in the first G.I. Joe movie with those like suits. It's like, you remember the game Vanquish where you slide around on the ground and shit?
Yep, I knew that. Yep.
It literally feels exactly like Vanquish.
Oh, weird.
They had suits like that in the OG cartoon also.
Yeah, but it was just like
the OG Transformers cartoon.
Not G.I. Joe.
When that happened, well, yeah, I know that was in the Transformers cartoon, but like in the movie when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're doing this now. But then at the end, it was like, oh, they're trying to also tie it into what they maybe did in the G.I. Joe, so it's not so strange. And yeah.
It doesn't surprise me because those two properties cross over all the time. So
yeah, I mean, I'm not like surprised in that way. I'm just surprised that they're going so hard as to like clearly spell it out like that.
Right.
Because if it doesn't end up working out, that's pretty embarrassing.
The G-Joes.
You put on the times of...
I don't think the orca could like bring that thing into shore, you know?
maybe if they were actually able to like weaken it and float it with those barrels,
but
and
it is like taking that
it.
thing. It's like, I'm taking both y'all. Like,
yeah, a fucking gigantic like fish that big that is still able to move and fight is I imagine you would just do what it's doing, tear the boat apart.
Yeah, they must have tied that ship to like a cruise liner or that whatever barge thing that brought in all those people, and it was like just yanking those guys down the water. 'Cause that's hard to believe a freaking animal could just wreck that boat.
I don't know. I mean, even like the kind of fish that you catch when you're just going fishing with rod and reel, some of the bigger ones I've like ever had the experience to be around or hold or just like touch, they're really strong. And I can only imagine, because like a hippo, how they talk about those are extremely powerful creatures.
Oh yeah.
I can only imagine that something like a shark, or even if it was like a swordfish, maybe that was to those proportions, it would be capable of, I don't know.
Well, hippos eat like pumpkins whole.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a great white shark. These things eat like seals in 2 bites,
Yeah.
They fight orcas, and they.
Did you say not with 3, kid? Kid. 3 barrels? Kid.
And then just right now when it's silent, kid. You serious? Kid.
God, kid.
Cooper does the hand tent on the boat thing, and he's like, guys, look.
Guys.
Remember when that used to happen all the time at the lunch table?
Yes. I mean, I recall a lot of shit that Ethan would say, God, kid.
Kid.
The hand tent when he needed to make an emphatic point.
Yep.
Like, look.
Yeah, good times.
I wonder what he's up to these days.
I have no idea.
Brody, get up there.
And if that is like an older boat that's been in use for years and years,
maybe it is kind of on its last leg, and it's like I don't know how many horsepower it needs, but yeah. How many times are we going to draw them in?
Let's keep this momentum up. And I do have that collection of Jaws 2, 3, and 4. So we should we already did a reel-to-reel on the first one. We should watch the other ones and do those.
I know. We did a reel-to-reel, but it did get copyright. So, I mean, I do have to replace it with this one. So, but yes, we will replace that one with this one, and then continue the Jaws escapade and talk about all the other ones, because it's been a while since I've seen the other ones too. This Brody, he's in the second one too, isn't he?
Yes. The Brody children are characters in the third one, and the fourth one too. But it's Dennis Quaid in the third one as Mike, I believe. I don't know who Little Vampire Boy is.
You ladies of Spain.
If I see my death coming, I'm going to sing this song before I go out.
That's a good way to go out.
Like if I'm like the Macho Man Randy Savage and I see myself going towards that tree, like farewell and adieu. I always think when I watch this movie, thank God for Verna Fields. Because I can only imagine what it must have been like to undertake a shoot like this, where it's the 70s. It's like not, I don't know how many movies have actually been trying to shoot like out on open water, and how much havoc that must cause. And
yeah,
the fact that the film got all the film got exposed to seawater, and they had to emergency.
I think the movie benefited from having it touch the salty sea a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But they had to do like an emergency figuring out how to treat it chemically and like salvage it, and then from what they were able to salvage, basically edit the movie together.
Mm-hmm.
It's just interesting that it almost physically did not survive its own making.
That's a true epic hero story right there. Her name was Verna something?
Verna Fields, editor of this movie. Every time her name comes up in the credits, and so many times when I'm watching this, I'm like, thank God for you, Verna Fields.
I think there should be a shirt that says "Thank God for Verna Fields."
Yeah, I'm absolutely for that.
Well, because
Spielberg
if
says,
you know, because you wouldn't have blockbusters, and you wouldn't have Jaws without her, and
well, yeah, you wouldn't have this movie. You would not have the who knows if the entire summer blockbuster thing takes off in the same way that it did, or happens in the same way,
Exactly.
Maybe Spielberg's career never goes on, and then from there, how many other actors, producers, people in the industry never got a chance or made the things that they made because of Spielberg's involvement or whatever.
Exactly. Poison. All of the harpoons are poison.
Belle Biv DeVoe.
Poison.
Boy, that shark is poisoned.
That shark is poison. That vamp
is poison. Yeah, Hooper's idea is like, look, I think if we can get him close enough, I can shove this garlic bread in his mouth.
I see you got that from Olive Garden.
Or you can eat breadsticks
from Olive Garden. When you're here, your family, Chiefy.
When you're on the Orca, your family. I'm first mate. I'm captain. I'm daddy.
I'm daddy. I'm mommy.
You're Bobby.
Quit's doing an ad for Olive Garden. Goddamn it.
And you're here, your family.
Try our Zuppa Toscana, Chiefy.
The
Unlimited soup salad breadsticks, Chiefy.
Yeah, like what was it like? Shrimp scampi, $12.99, all you can eat, Chiefy.
I'm
God
talking
damn it.
about some Alfredo sauce, Chiefy.
You ever seen black olives?
Black olives like a doll's olives.
When my sister and I were little, every time we went to Olive Garden, like, I feel like most people would be like all about the breadsticks, but she and I were all about black olives. And we would always, when we got the breadsticks, we'd be like, can we please get just a bowl of black olives? And we would just sit there and eat the black olives. Like we didn't, I would eat the breadsticks, sure, but we were more like, yeah, these fucking olives, man.
that is a strange ask, but they're like, all right, okay.
Yeah, I remember many times the server just being like, okay.
So they instead of like Parmesan cheese on your salad, they're like, all right, how many olives? You're just like, keep going.
They bring the salad and you're like, hey, can I get some extra olives, please?
And they have an olive grinder instead of a Parmesan grinder.
What the fuck is the name of the restaurant? Don't look surprised when I'm asking for olives.
Yeah, shut your face. Change your name if you don't want me to get your olives.
Like I go to Burger King and I order
Talk
burger.
when I was here on this family.
Oh, brave. Look at you thinking outside the box. So I want you guys to tell me when you think it's a little person on the screen.
No.
I know. Richard Dreyfuss has always been little.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's a toothpick.
When do you think it's a midget? When do you think we're midget?
Right there.
Right now.
Right now.
In the
Right now.
Ron and God, what are their names? Ron and something Taylor.
Right now.
I just feel like I can't actually tell.
They did their job. Right now.
Yeah, they did.
Right now.
But-
That's another
but like
toothpick.
Right now.
But typically with like a little person, you can see their like the difference in their
Yeah.
fingers, etc. And I just don't.
Right now.
I mean, yeah, that's probably it.
Right now.
When the actor's in the same frame as the shark.
Yeah. Right now.
Yeah.
But they're doing that in a swimming pool. They've got a cage, a midget, and a big robotic shark in a swimming pool, like a big ass pool.
Yeah.
Oh,
What the
God.
fuck.
Just stab that fucker right there. Right now.
Jeez.
Right now. Yeah, I was right there.
Hey, I'm going to eat you, tiny boy.
Right now.
Yum, yum.
I mean, if they had gone the book route, we would have got to see Roy Scheider shoot Richard Dreyfuss in the neck with a rifle. That's all I'm saying.
Look at this guy.
Oh,
Just
been
fuck
tight,
up
yeah.
that cage. He's like, I'm just going to peace out here, dude. I got some
What's
air in my
behind the
tank.
rock?
He pulls a
I
little
live here
roommate. He
now.
goes down to the surface and
I
he gets.
live here now.
I live
So
here now.
you gonna hang out with his dingle hoppers down there? dude?
Under the sea,
Yep, he's got the diggle hoppers.
under the sea,
Some whatchamacallits or whatever.
darling, I'm Hooper down here in Pooper.
Hooper.
It's so stinky.
I'm going to cry and shit all day, waiting for the shark to swim away. Slower, I hardly know her, Chiefy.
Okay.
Hi.
Fuck you.
What's up, dudes?
No.
Party time. I thought it was time we officially met.
Just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Bruce.
I'm Bruce. How you doing?
Hello there. I'm Bruce. Or a little Quint on
Bye,
the bobby.
bro.
What a great death, though, huh?
Yeah.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Yeah. Stab him. Stab him. Get him good.
Stab him in that cheek. Stab him in that cheeky.
God damn.
Stab him in his eye.
Take it out of the head. That would have been a perfect chance for him to stab him in the eye, dude. Would have been great.
What do you think that the chances are of in any time that this movie will be remade, just because of its legacy and?
Give it like another 20 years.
Do you think so? Do you think maybe it'll be after Spielberg is gone?
Yeah.
It's like the Zemeckis thing with Back to the Future, where they're like, as long as we're alive, it's not going to happen.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Here's a tasty treat, Bruce.
Because do you try and do anything practical, or do you just go all CG?
I don't know.
In this day and age,
It's either they try to be faithful and do it practical, or they like try to prove a point or some shit and do it in CG. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing. They would go back to the book and the source and make that
Back to the SARS TV.
yeah. They wouldn't remake the movie. They'd just try to remake the book or adapt the book in a
Be a
different way.
better idea. Yeah.
That could be a good way to do it. I mean, even if you remade the movie, it wouldn't tarnish its legacy. But it's like it's just keeping a kind of safe distance, but able to do its own thing. And
Not to tarnish the legacy TV.
but then also, if you are doing a adaptation of the book, you can, if you choose to, I guess, add in like, hey, here's a quote from the movie, or like a little reference to the movie, just to
Kind of like Doctor Sleep did,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
or it was like part like sequel to the book, but also has some stuff in the Kubrick shit in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you see as the Roy Scheider of if it was to be cast now?
Timothy Chalamet.
No.
If we give it another 20 years, he'll be old enough to play it.
Ryan Reynolds.
I don't. Maybe.
It'll be someone better. I don't know.
George Clooney.
I don't know Clooney. Maybe a Brolin, like a Josh Brolin.
Maybe.
If we can't have Quint or Willem Dafoe as Quint,
That'd be great.
That would be good.
what about Werner Herzog as Quint?
Oh god, that would be
Bryan
actually
Cranston as
it would be
Quint.
epic because I'd love to have like a foreign like. Well, because Quint was very
look
like
at this.
Irish sounding. You know, he's got that
It's
way of
it's
talking.
gonna be Johnny Depp for no reason.
Yeah, but he would have to put on like a caricature.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He would do it because that's John Depp.
He would basically like
That's what he
do.
does now.
I
He'd
can't
do another
even say
pirate.
that I would like dislike that like out of hand.
I know. I
Might
just
be
don't know.
interesting to see Johnny Depp as Quint.
It could be cool. I don't know.
I don't know. Vin Diesel is Hooper.
No, Vin Diesel is Bruce.
As the
his big old
shark.
bald head popping out of the water.
I am Bruce.
Family.
I am Bruce.
I can't believe nobody like from the shore saw like a freaking huge boat go down. They're like, maybe we should go help.
And then an explosion.
Yeah, like what the fuck was that?
Also, probably I don't like. It's good that they leave when they do because you don't want like other sharks or stuff getting attracted to all this blood and bits of Bruce in the water and stuff.
It's Bruce.
Bits of Bruce. That's me.
Bruce.
Bruce. Also, Quint had no time to be
On the menu.
so shouldn't there be like pieces of Quint floating around too?
Pieces of Quint. Bits of Bruce.
Pieces of Quint.
It's for the Jaws themed restaurant. Bruce Fitz. Cross promotion is Fast and Furious. Just have Vin Diesel in there when you hear your family.
Would you hear your family? Garlic bread. And you know what?
This Alfredo sauce will move through you
We
fast
end
and
the movie
furious.
exactly on the beach where the movie started. Isn't that kind of cool?
I don't know that it is though.
It could be.
You never know.
I mean, it certainly could be. I don't know.
Swimming.
Yeah, I don't know. Jim Fargo. That was always weird to me when I was a kid when I was watching that movie. I was like, I'm in Fargo. I live in Fargo. Why is the
Jim
word
Fargo
in the movie that I'm obsessed with? And again, so succinct. Like that was like 30, 45 seconds maybe of credits.
Yeah. Very much an indie film.
Indie film. Meadows. Estuary Victim.
J Mello.
Jay Melly.
National Geographic Society. Stanford University. Cool. Well, that was nice. As it faded out, Brody and Hooper just like landed on the shore.
Yeah, they're standing up out of the water. Well, what? Go get a beer now? Quint's dead.
Yeah, I guess.
Who do we report this to? You're the chief of police.
No need to report to Chiefy Quint. What the fuck?
The ghost of Quint.
No need to report. I've been alive the whole time.
They're walking up the beach and his force ghost appears beside him and is just laughing and like, yeah, let's go get a beer. Go get a hurry, whatever they're called. Go get a beer, Chiefy.
Talking about a great white, Chiefy.
I'm talking about a great head of beer.